they are easier to deal with on a balance of probabilities. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Obviously, there's some overlap and there's obviously some crazy people in every single ethnicity in this world.
However,
they on a balance of probabilities are usually easier to deal with. They're not talking crazy to you. What's up, world? Welcome back to Cancer Thoughts. It's your boy Better Day. So a few days ago, a picture was going viral all over Twitter, and it was of the significant others and the wives or girlfriends of the Philadelphia 49ers. I believe that's the football team that the picture was. And the Sistas got really upset about this because the picture was essentially of a predominantly Caucasian female photograph. And because obviously this is a topic of ire in the black community, with a lot of black men and specifically successful black men essentially dating outside of their ethnicity. And this is something that the women of the black community are really upset about. And it doesn't really necessarily make sense to me in any way, shape, or form, because obviously these men are free to make the choices for their own lives as they see fit. It's nobody's business or nobody's prerogative as to what they do with their own lives. So
mind your own fucking business.
It's something that really doesn't make sense to me at all. But a lot of people get upset about it every single time they see a successful black man with anybody, honestly, that's not a black woman. So it's something that really is like a major topic of conversation in the black community. And a video also was going viral all over Twitter, and I believe it was going viral on TikTok as well, of a guy who is a D1 athlete, I believe, who also has a lot of D1 athlete friends, explaining why this phenomena is kind of occurring specifically with black athletes and black male athletes. And we're going to be going over that video and that little short clip. It's about 2 minutes long today. But before we get into that, you guys already know what I'm about to ask you guys to do. I need you guys to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I'm trying to make sure as many people find this channel as possible, and the only way I'm gonna do that is with you guys yourself. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is the photograph that I was talking about of the significant others of the 49ers. Notice that there's obviously a lot of Caucasian women in this photograph, but I also want you to take into notice and take into account that all of the women, or I believe most of the women, I want to say like 95% of them, there's one of them that I'm a little bit questionable about, but all of them are pretty much in shape and attractive. So I want you guys to pay attention to that. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I want you guys to pay attention to the fact that they're all somewhat pretty attractive, and objectively speaking, they're good-looking people. So
keep that in mind.
Why are all these black college athletes that are getting drafted having white women? What's going on? I am going to tell you, as someone that is friends with a lot of D1 football players and D1 basketball players, I'm going to tell you because they have told me. Whoa. Before I get into this, I want to make it clear I'm only into black women. I'm just telling you what they have told me. My man said, bro, how many white women have you seen do the Meg Thee Stallion challenge? And he said,
the very fact that this guy even had to preface all of his comments by saying, whoa, don't be upset. And, just, I like black women. I only like black. That's an issue in and of itself, because he's basically just commenting on a thing, and
he's afraid of you.
Pretty much because of the feelings of these people, he doesn't want to get them too riled up and too upset. So he's like, well, don't kill me, don't crucify me. Like, if no one feels comfortable talking to you and telling you the truth, that's a very major problem. And you should be doing the introspective work to understand why people feel the way about you that they feel about you, because it doesn't necessarily make any sense. And if people can't talk to you, guess what? You're not going to be getting a really objective representation of reality if that's the case. So think about that if you're a black woman watching this as well.
Excluding the ones that think they're 2 shades away from being lotto. I said, probably only one. He said, okay. Y'all, 5 of my guys that play on Division I Power 5 football teams, and they were like, goody, you know the type of NIL deals we got. One of my men said, bro, I was messing with this black girl. She heard about the deal I got and started to request money, Apple Pays and Cash Apps, for her hair and nails. I said, oh shit. My other friends were saying, bro, I would try to take her out to Chipotle, Kava, this and that. She would get mad talking about, why are we going to steakhouses? You're good for it.
Think about everything he just said there. If you guys didn't hear what he said before, because I might have paused it, he said that how many white girls do you know who have been trying to do the Megan Thee Stallion challenge? That is a major issue with the black community, is that the demeanor and the way we act, and our women in particular act, is something that's unpalatable to men.
Whether you like it or not.
A lot of men have been saying this, and Kevin Samuels was somebody who was very famous for talking to black women and saying, yo, y'all need to start changing the way you guys act. You guys need to start changing the way you behave, because it's not attractive to the men that you want. And you guys started calling him a misogynist and all that. Like, let me ask you a real good question. Kevin Samuels was married twice. He has a daughter, I believe. Do you really think someone like Kevin Samuels hates women, or are you just trying to deflect and not do the introspective work that it requires for you to actually improve and get better with your life and get the results that you want out of your life, because no one who is telling you these things is lying
at all.
You've heard them enough times by now to where it's a pattern now that people are telling you the same shit over and over. Yo, your demeanor needs to change, otherwise you're not going to get the results that you want out of life. And you guys want to get upset and get emotional or whatever because you're triggered because no one's ever actually told you the truth. And that's a problem with our society, as well as that we do a very horrible job of telling women the truth. And when they finally run into a guy who actually tells them the truth, you want to call him a misogynist. So a lot of guys haven't been doing that. The second thing that he tackled in this little short clip was that a lot of y'all are entitled. There's an entitlement aspect to a lot of this that comes specifically from black women that doesn't come from white women. And I'm going to let him expound a little bit on this before I comment on it, but there is an entitlement factor in this that doesn't ever really get talked about enough. And he's talking about it here. And a lot of men are just not dealing with you guys anymore in terms of your entitlement, because at the end of the day, they don't have to, especially if you're a D1 athlete or if you're an NFL athlete. If you're a pro athlete and you already made your money, nobody has to deal with y'all. He has the pick of the litter. He can do whatever the hell he wants in terms of finding a relationship.
Why would he choose you?
I said, oh shit. They were like, bro, the white women, they're down to go and get a cup of coffee, go and get some fucking ice cream. My friends were like, bro, the white women we're dating, they pay for a lot of our stuff. I said, what do you mean? They said, bro, they know that we're making some money, but while we're at practice or we're at camp, they got us our favorite Cava Bowl, double chicken, right? Waiting for them to come out of practice. My friends are telling me these girls are getting their group projects done, getting their essays done, online tests done on time. I said,
the girls are there for them and there's no entitlement here. I'm going to share with you guys something because I think a lot of people think this is just like a online thing, or this is something that just happens on the internet, even though a lot of men are telling you this is exactly the experience that we have. I went on a date very recently with a white woman. Never in my life have I been on a date where it was a first date. I asked the girl out. We went to the movies. We had a good time at the movies, and then we went to grab drinks afterwards. I've never in all of my years of living been on a date where a woman offered to pay for anything on that date.
Can you imagine?
It happened on that date, and I was shocked. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to let her pay for anything at all. I was obviously always going into it thinking that I was going to pay for everything, and I did end up paying for everything. But the fact that she even offered warmed my heart. It literally was like, oh, you're not actually just entitled. Now, let's juxtapose that to all of the dates that I've been on with black women. And I've been on a lot of dates with a lot of black women. Now, obviously, they don't all obviously end exactly how I want them to, obviously, because I'm trying to get it in, you feel me? But they don't always do that. So I'm not by any sense of the imagination trying to say that I'm some ladies' man here. But I've never, ever been on a date with a black woman, and all of the dates that I've been on where she even offered to pay for the date.
Let that sink in.
Like, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about, and it's something so little in that I wasn't even gonna let you pay for it, but the fact that you even thought in your mind and you had the awareness to just go, let me just offer to pay and see what happens with this dude. It warms my heart when stuff like that happens, but it never happens with black women. And then you wonder why the dudes that you want aren't coming after you. Like, they're telling you these things and you're just refusing to hear it. You're refusing to hear it and you're feeling entitled. Let's continue this video, but think about the things that he's saying here, because everybody doesn't hate women.
That's statistically impossible.
Everyone who says something that you don't want to hear doesn't hate women. I certainly don't hate women. Kevin Samuels certainly didn't hate women. This guy here who's telling you this stuff obviously doesn't hate women. He literally just had to caveat and preface all of his things by saying, I love black women.
Wait, what? I said, bro, what about maintenance? There's no way y'all not paying for her hair, nails, bags, her lifestyle. He said, bro, first of all, my girl will get her own Starbucks and even get me one. But if I want to be nice, I'll get her something, from Starbucks. And they were like, hair and nails. They don't even care about the nails, really, And if they do it themselves. Sometimes I pitch in. And I was like, all right, what about hair? They were like, bro, she's white. She just brushes it. We're flat irons it. She wants to be special. Jesus Christ, you guys are saving a lot of money. One of my men said this. He just got drafted. He said, bro, I was dating a black girl. Now I'm dating a white girl and I'm about to marry her. He said the difference between the black girl and the white girl, the biggest difference is the white girl knows when to shut the fuck up. I said, God damn.
That is a fact. Ooh, I'm going to say this and a lot of people are going to come for me, but I'm going to fucking say it anyway. They are easier to deal with on a balance of probabilities. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Obviously, there's some overlap and there's obviously some crazy people in every single ethnicity in this world.
However,
they on a balance of probabilities are usually easier to deal with. They're not talking crazy to you. They're not giving you a bunch of attitude on a regular basis. It's pretty simple. It's straightforward. You talk to them. They're pretty nice. They're pretty demeanor. demure. And again, I'm saying this isn't a blanket statement. This isn't a generalization of all people. And the fact that I even have to preface all of my comments by saying that is what I was talking about earlier. But they are, on a balance of probabilities, a lot easier to deal with than you guys are. And that's just the reality of the situation. Now, are there obviously things that you guys can do to alleviate this? Yes. Obviously, just start being a little bit nicer.
It's that simple.
Start being a little bit more demure in the way that you interact with people. Start being a little more soft and courteous. And obviously, maybe you'll start to see a lot of things change for your life. Now, if you don't want to be upset, say whatever you want, call everybody who tells you this a misogynist. At the end of the day, you're going to be the ones who are home alone by yourself with a cat or a dog or something. And I'm going to mention this because I don't think he goes into this either. As I said earlier in this video, a lot of those women, and I believe it was all of those women in there, I'm not 100% sure about it, but all of them are in shape. This is a major problem specifically with the black community in that 80% of y'all are overweight.
It's a problem.
And no one ever tells you this. No one's ever kind of had the talk with you of, hey, your weight and your appearance matters. Come for me all you want. Say whatever you want. Call me a misogynist or whatever. I care enough about our community to where I am willing to put myself in a position to where people will be upset with me. People will not like me. People will hate me. I'm still going to tell y'all the truth. Your appearance matters to men. It always has and it always fucking will. 80% of y'all are overweight. And obviously, I'm not saying that there aren't overweight women of every other ethnicity as well. Honestly, that's a major problem in America right now, and we need to alleviate that as a whole. But it is a bigger problem specifically in our community, and that's one of the reasons that men are fleeing the community. Listen to this one thing. Y'all are overweight and you need to get your ass in the gym. Otherwise, you're just going to keep complaining on the internet about how you're not getting the results that you want out of relationships, and it's going to be your fault.
Listen, this is what they told me. Do with the information as you please. If it takes me 10 to 15 years to find a black woman that's compatible with me, that's what I'm going to do. But this is what they told me. So stop being surprised.
That's the end of the video there, and I'm going to end off this video very quickly too. I just want to say this as well, because I'm one of those guys who's also always been kind of accused of only liking white women or dating outside my ethnicity or anything like that. My friends we've gotten into a lot of arguments about this, and I'm just like, no, I am someone who doesn't necessarily feel some loyalty toward any ethnicity of people. I like who I like, and I thought at the end of the day, what we were striving for in America was to judge people on the content of their character and not by just their appearance. So that's something that I find hypocritical about all of the people who make these arguments about who you date or whatever. And it's just like, all right, there's that. But also at the end of the day, I think it was like 2 years ago, what's his name? Donald Glover was getting a bunch of heat for posting a photograph with his significant other as well, where she's like, I want to say she's either Hispanic or she's not black. Let's just put it that way. She's not black. And he was getting a lot of like pushback and a lot of vitriol directed in his way because she wasn't black. And it was like, well, I can't remember who the person was, but someone like Donald Glover is somebody who probably tried to talk to black women for most of his life, found that they thought he was a dork, thought that he wasn't very handsome, or thought that he wasn't very charismatic, or whatever it was. They didn't give him the time of day.
Which is fine.
And by the point that he actually started becoming successful, then they saw that he changed his taste to the people who actually probably gave him the time of day when he wasn't successful. And then they started calling him a sellout. No one is going to be loyal to y'all if you're not loyal to them. I'm not trying to hear this bullshit about how black men need to be loyal to black women. But then when black men like myself and like a lot of other people try to talk to y'all don't give them the time of day. And then at some point when they get successful, you start looking at them as to what the fuck what's going on here. Why don't they like black women? Why isn't the woman that he's with a black woman? Shut the fuck up. At the end of the day, karma's a bitch, and that bitch is best served cold. And I also want to end off this video by saying this, guys. Be upset all you want with men. Be upset all you want with society and how people lie to you and everything like that. At the end of the day, are you guys getting the results that you want? And if you aren't getting the results that you want, you need to start doing the introspective work to start trying to push yourself toward getting the results that you want. Otherwise, nobody wants to hear it, and you need to shut the fuck up. I'm not trying to hear this nonsense anymore on the internet about people complaining about how the world is unfair and how, you're not getting the results that you want out of dating in particular, especially when you have had all of the choice in your life and you've just squandered those opportunities. If you're one of the few women who watches this video who understands that this is coming from a place of love and not from a place of rage, take my advice and become the version of yourself that the kind of guy that you want wants. And if you're one of the women who, like the majority of you guys, is going to watch this video and get upset and think that you're perfect the way you are, even though you're 5'4" and 200 and whatever pounds you you are.
Good for you.
Keep doing what you're doing and see where that ends you up with. At the end of the day, guys, take my advice or don't take my advice. It is what it is. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. At the end of the day, I always want to thank you guys for joining me on this video, because you guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate you.
If you liked what you heard today, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like what you heard, thanks for watching the whole video. Consider leaving a comment in the comment section and telling me exactly what you disagreed with. Either way, thanks for joining me on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.